What is up, y'all? Welcome back to Halo's Kitchen, the best kitchen out there, period. It's Chef A here. As you can see, I am still doing my World Cuisine series, and this week I'm doing Italy, and I made some ravioli bolognese. This recipe was so yummy. I did like an eggless pasta and all. So first you want to start off with, the mixture for the bolognese. If you don't know what that is, that's like pretty much a meat sauce in, Italy. That's where it was originated, of course, because it's Italian. But yeah, it's gonna call for, one large carrot, and you see right here, I was completely tweaking. I forgot, that my original recipe, it calls for like a grated carrot and not, a diced carrot. I ended up dicing this, even though I really did not need to. So you can actually skip this part and just, grate it very finely, like as you'll see like later on in the video in the next clip or so. But of course, make sure you properly cleanse those veggies as well. You can use some baking soda and vinegar together. Make sure it's aluminum free baking soda. But yes, right here, as you can see, what you would normally use for like cheese or maybe even ginger or something like that. You can just, use your carrot like that and grate it just like this. Just one large carrot. But yes, y'all, this series has been so fun, and if you guys have any other recommendations, you can definitely comment down below any other countries or cultures that you would love for me to visit. I'm definitely, open to all suggestions. I still got a couple more on the list, so stay tuned for all of those. Make sure you be checking out my shorts and stuff too on my other social medias. But yes, now you want to cut up an onion. You want to dice an onion. I actually use like half this onion for the meat sauce mixture and the other half for the walnut meat mixture. But yes, of course you want to peel off the skin and just dice it up. I'm pretty sure you know how to dice it, but if you don't, you just want to cut it in half, and be careful because when you do cut the butt part, that end right there, where it's like still kind of like the onion hairs right there, once you cut that in half, it does tend to burn your eyes a little bit, but I don't know, I kind of got used to it, so just be cautious with that, be mindful of that. I heard if you soak your onions in ice cold water, then it won't burn as much. At least that's what I learned in one kitchen that I had worked in before. But yes, depending on how much you love onion too, you could also just do one whole big onion and then have a little extra onion for the walnut meat mixture. It really doesn't matter, it's really up to your preference. But yes, the remainder onion I'm going to be using for that walnut meat. And right here I'm using heirloom tomatoes, so this is something pretty new for my bolognese recipe. Usually I just use regular Roma tomatoes, but I'm gonna be using heirloom, and I also just decided to add in a yellow one as well because I don't know, I just thought it looked pretty. So yeah, you also want to dice up this tomato as well. But yes, y'all, like I said, definitely check me out on my other social medias. I upload way more on my Instagram and stuff like that. We're on the rise. We're about to reach 10K eventually. I definitely think that's gonna happen before this year is over. But yes, I love all the support. I appreciate it. Right here I'm making the walnut meat, and that's gonna call for a pack of mushrooms, but make sure you leave out 6 of those mushrooms because you're gonna use that in the bolognese sauce. And then you want to add in some walnuts as well as some onions, the remainder of that onion, and you just want to food process that up until it gets nice and crumbly, until it looks like that pretty much. And then in a pan with some oil, you want to heat that up and then add in your onions and carrots, let that cook a little bit, add some salt and pepper. And then you want to end up adding your walnut meat mixture in there and just continue to chop that up and stir it and let that brown up. And you want to add in, all the different seasonings or whatever. I'll just end up listing it on the screen, and also want to add in some avocado oil. You could also use olive oil, whatever oil you really want to be honest. And then you can add in your sliced up mushrooms and then add in your tomatoes as well. I did not put this on camera, but I did end up adding some wine in there, some white cooking wine, and also list the measurements, of course. And then you want to add in some tomato paste. I ended up adding half a can, I would say. So pretty much like 3 tablespoons. And then you want to add in some fresh chopped basil. And right here I'm just making, you know, the vegan eggless pasta. That's gonna call for like 2 cups of flour. I added in some salt and just some spring water. It's pretty simple. And you just want to like knead that up. Also added in a little bit of oil as well, about a tablespoon of some avocado oil. You just want to mix that. Right here is the butter sauce that I'm going to add on top, the butter and basil mix that I'm going to drizzle on top of the ravioli once it's all cooked up. And right here, that's after I let the pasta dough sit in the refrigerator for about an hour after I mixed it up. And I'm just cutting that in half, you know, for the top and, you know, the bottom of the ravioli. And you just want to end up rolling out both of these flat, as thin as possible. I did not like roll them out thin enough. So yeah, make sure you roll it out pretty thin, like thinner than I did this one. And if you don't know, like for the ravioli recipes, usually it calls for you to like, you know, put a little bit of a section kind of like spaced out apart or whatever, and you're gonna end up like cutting it once you put the other dough sheet on top of this one, on top of the bottom one. So you just want to kind of like separate them like an inch apart. I would say an inch or 2 or inch and a half apart, and make sure you do not overstuff it. And make sure that top piece is stretched out enough to be able to go on top of this as well. Because I did not stretch mine out enough on the top piece, so I kind of struggled a little bit. But it's okay, because it's my first time making ravioli actually. And then it was vegan, so I feel like it wasn't even as stretchy as like a traditional one would be. But that's okay, because it was still good. Still a 10 out of 10. But yes, I'm using a pizza cutter just to separate them. If you don't have that, you could just use a regular knife as long as it's a good knife. And you just want to cut those into the square shapes evenly. And make sure you also press the fork around there too. As you can see, mine was not perfect. I got a little bit of sauce on top of it, but it's all good. Because the meat sauce is going to cover it anyway, so it don't got to look too pretty. And you just want to boil those for like a minute each piece or whatever. And then you just want to add the Bolognese sauce on top. Once it's done, you want to like cook that for about, I would say like 30 minutes. It really doesn't take that long, especially since it's just walnuts and mushrooms, you know, after you add in the cooking wine or whatever. Yeah, then I just drizzled the basil sauce on top and it's complete. You know, also added on some vegan Parmesan cheese, and this was so yummy. Like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and give me any recommendations for any other countries you want me to try out, or just any other recipes in general that you want me to turn vegan. And make sure you guys stay tuned for this cookbook, because y'all have definitely been asking for it. So let's get the momentum going. The Chef A Halo's Kitchen cookbook is on the way. I'm definitely working on it. Thank you so much for supporting, and have a beautiful Sunday. Bye.